is up, people? What is up? You know what it is? It's Saturday. It is time for the Q&A. All right, let's get this twisted and then bring in Brother Paul over here. Hopefully my computer isn't being murdered right now. Um, if I were to show you my CPU performance window, it is getting beat down right now because I started doing something which I thought was cute, and it's going to take a long, long time. so, yeah, okay. Paul said I'm muted in Zoom. Now Paul can hear me. All right, cool. Yeah, this what I decided to do was like brain dead stupid, but it's kind of fun though. So I'll show you guys in a second. Let me bring up activity monitor and let's do CPU history. Look, that's my CPU right now. It is getting worked. It is getting absolutely worked. And so what I'm doing to cause this problem, and let's see how we're doing so far, is let me go demo mode. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. So down here in the bottom, if I go to edit, hey, it might be finished. Is it finished? Well, how's it still going crazy if it's finished? Well, there should be a thing that's telling me that my voice processing is going down. So I gave I gave DaVinci like a bunch of audio files, and then I right clicked upon these audio files and I told it to build an AI voice that basically is built off of my voice. And then so when you go to training, it tells you, okay, don't be a ding dong. And then I don't want to press accept because I definitely don't want it to start again. Well, maybe I can do it. Let's see. Yeah. So here's the voices that you want, and then I put in, like the name of the model, which is my name, and then I did better instead of faster. And it said it was going to take, I think it was like 11 hours to do the processing, and that's on a fully maxed out M4. I mean, not M4, M1 Studio. And it's still cool, but in theory, because I gave it so much data, like you really only need to give it 10 minutes, but I gave it like 8 plus 12, let's call that 20, plus another 13 is 33, plus another 13 is 46, and you add all the extra minutes. I gave it basically 45 minutes of audio to listen to, and these are all different levels of, you guys know me, my hype me versions. My hype, I'm pissed off at something versions, my quiet versions, my Ecamm versions, where I got to be professional. So it has all different tonalities, and I had it render this audio. So I don't know why the CPU is still going crazy unless it's not quite finished. There's supposed to be a little thing down here in the bottom to let you know, like if it has been done. But I guess we can try something to see. Let me pop back over to Ecamm for a second. We'll see like how to do. Let's see how it did. I like to go and find a tiny little public domain audio clip. Let's see if I can find something. Let me see if I can hunt down like a JFK speech or something, and then switch it to me. That would be stupid. Let's see. Let's do YouTube. Let's do YouTube. This would be cool if this works. And let's do JFK speech. We choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it is hard. All right, here's 2 minutes JFK speech. Actually, this should just be audio, maybe? Let's see. I don't want music. That's good.
In an age of both.
No, we don't need that. We just want the words. Shut up.
If I were to say, my fellow citizens, that we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston.
All right, this ought to work. This would be super stupid if this works. Okay, so I'm going to right click upon this and then use, everybody knows my favorite tool for downloading, let's not use that word. Use my favorite tool for obtaining something from YouTube real quick. Let's just see what happens. It's loading. YouTube definitely doesn't like when we say that word, but if you have SetApp, you can figure it out. If you don't have SetApp, you should, because it's just kind of dope. All right, let's go here. Let's see, is it doing it? What do you mean this video is not available anymore? Shut up. Come on. It's making me log in real quick. Sorry. Go to the home. All right. All right, let's go. Let's say that's done. And then let's try this again. And if that doesn't work, I have a different one I can use. Yeah, our favorite red button has gotten really good at blocking these things. So they don't work as well as they used to anymore, but it does still work. All right, let's see. I'm going to download this. All right, it looks like it finished. Okay, cool. Let's go back to DaVinci real quick. And let's see if this will be so stupid if it works. Oh my God, let's create a new timeline. We're just going to call it nothing because this is just Doc dicking around. And then we're going to choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it is hard. And then we're going to select this audio track. And then we want to say voice convert. And we want to make a new track. Yes. And then the voice will be Doc. And there was a type matching to the source. And let's press render. This is going to be super funny if it works. Oh my God, this would be super, super funny if it works. First of all, look at that sucker. It's flying right now. It is absolutely cooking with Pam. And let's see, it's doing it at 7.1x speed. And while it's thinking, let me check on y'all on the Ecamm side. Dun, 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 dun. Bingo. You should have a FCP project called DDA. What the heck is DDA, Paul? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so here we are. And let's mute. Well, I think it already muted President Kennedy, so let's listen. If I were to say, my fellow citizens, that we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented, capable of standing heat and stresses several times more than have ever been experienced, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the equipment needed for propulsion, guidance, control, communications, food, and survival, on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at speeds of over 25,000 miles per hour. That, my friends, is hilarious. That is all day hilarious. Yo, so the funny thing is, it kept the New England accent. So if I was doing a horrible Kennedy impression, that's exactly what it would sound like. But I didn't do it to do this. I did it so that if you make what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know, you watch all my videos. I be saying the wrong shit sometimes, and I just wanted to be able to fix it. And so now I can fix it because it can say what I wanted to say correctly. Like I can add that, and it will use the correct voice. Or I can have it do a whole script based off of my voice, right, without the intonation. So that's cool. The accent is absolutely insane, right? Like, oh wow, that is super crazy. Yeah, so I can, in theory, give it a script whole cloth, and it should be able to create audio track based off of my voice without the sort of conversion, right? It should be able to fill in those areas completely off of any sort of written script. which could come in handy if you're trying to do a short or something like that. And in the normal circumstances, these tools need something like 11 Labs in order to go through. And oh my God, speaking of which, I haven't really played with it just yet, but 11 Labs has come up with some insanity over the last couple of weeks. Let's see. So I believe, just like take this element right here, and you can kind of like assign this to a particular voice, right? And then you can change the speaker if you have multiple speakers in a track, so you can do things like that. You can go in here and edit these scripts, but in theory, I haven't fleshed out the rest part yet, but in theory, you can go in here, just type out a whole script and then have it generate the words, and it should sound like you. So that'd be real handy if you need to fill in some back information and you just want to slap a piece of B-roll and then have it like, spit game and then be you. So yeah, super, super cool. You can change all the speaker data, everything. This is kind of incredible. Super incredible. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I was building a voice model in DaVinci around myself. And yeah, you could build these again in 11 Labs, but in 11 Labs, you got to build it with your own, you have to use another service and go in. So let me just check this real quick to see why is it still tripping. Because, yeah, the CPU is still flying. Well, I guess at this point we're running Ecamm and Zoom, so that doesn't make sense. DaVinci is actually chilled out. So at this point, this is just Ecamm doing its thing, which you can tell because if I add another window, most people don't know this, but I'll show you real quick. If I add another window and then go to activity monitor and let's go CPU usage, bingo. Those first two cores over here, these are efficiency cores. When you read, your max specs, and it says it has regular cores and then efficiency cores. So this has 8 performance cores and 2 efficiency cores because it's M1. Nowadays, you have more. Ecamm or most software are going to use the efficiency cores first, and then it goes into the performance cores. So people be reading their CPU scores and saying, "Oh my God, Ecamm's using all of my CPU." Well, it's not really. It's not. It's not how it works. But anyway, now you know. Now you know. In case you want to be a nerd. Paul says, "Make a Doc Dicking Around project." Yo, I want to see what kind of crazy stuff I can do with it now that I finally trained the voice. It was something that I have been wanting to do for a long time, and I just never took time to do it. But if you decide to train a voice on any platform, what I highly think you should do is take the raw audio from your Ecamm productions, especially the ones where you're not live, where you're like kind of talking a lot, and just chop it up a little bit using your favorite chopper. You can use anything to chop it up. I just use QuickTime. I just made sure that I cut off any music, and I made sure that I cut out any. I didn't use anything that was processed. So no equalizers, no compression, no nothing. I wanted it to be as raw as possible, because if it's been too heavily processed, the what do you call those guys? I speak English today. The services have a harder time processing the audio if it's already been heavily processed. So yeah, it was super cool. It's kind of fun. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm about to do something. I'm gonna do something to ya. All right, you guys know what it is. It's Q&A day. If you have any Qs that need A-ing, let's get them twisted. What's been happening this week? There's so much stuff going on. Oh my God, I feel like Techtober has absolutely turned into Techtember. And so many people are dropping new things. I am ready for, of course, I am personally ready for Wednesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday. I'm not know if you guys are ready, but I am stoked. I don't know if you played with this yet, but this is cool. If you go over to the browser and you move your mouse around, you can kind of like mess with the apple. You can even mess with the leaf. And then you can draw. So there's a whole bunch of speculating as to what this is going to do. As soon as people start speculating, I turn that off. Like if I'm listening to something and they start going, oh, well, this means it's going to be, I just turn it off. because I really cannot stand this is just me. I cannot stand all of the guesswork of what's it going to be because most of the people that do that, as soon as Apple doesn't do what they said, they'll say Apple screwed up or Apple lied or whatever. And it's like, no, man, you started reading tea leaves and you got it wrong. Just say I got it wrong and then move on. Nobody does that. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on, but make sure that you are up and about. This is going to be directly after the floor recording, and it's going to be exactly at the time of the normal stream. So more than likely, what will happen on the normal stream is I'll just be sitting here watching this, and we'll be chatting in the chat, and we can pop open the Zoom room, huh? Oh, so I'll have some time. Well, maybe depending on how fast we finish the flow, maybe I'll just pop in early and just be on watching this, and we'll open the Zoom to see what's popping. But I mean, we all know what it is, right? It's going to be a phone and blah, blah, blah. Of course, companies are already leaking like what they think the phone is fixing to be. Uh, the case companies, listen, if you want to know, like, sort of, look, the case companies already got stuff in Amazon, bro. Like, screen protectors is already out on Amazon. It's crazy. This is getting way the heck out of hand, right? So, yeah, you go here and you go phone, and then you go pro, and then you go buy, and then you go max, and then you go black, never go back. 15.99. That's the same every year. That's so what? What's $100? Like no big deal. That would change this 66 to like 69. So what? What you gonna do with $3 extra a month? Oh, you mean like see, even those see, here's the thing about these polls. I like this concept. First of all, let me let Paul stop being a disembodied voice. That's just very weird. Here's the funny thing about these quote unquote polls. People lie, right? If somebody came with okay, let's just suppose, man, anybody seen Kevin? Where's Kevin? We gotta send out a smoke signal, make sure that dude is cool. Um, I think like right? But if you go to like, some young buck in his 20s, supposed to be about that life, supposed to have everything together, he not going to tell you that he don't got his shit together. He not going to tell you that he broke. So when you go up to him and you say, "Hey, are you going to buy the new iPhone?" He going to have like, two nickels in the quarter in his pocket, and he going to be like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to get the gold one with 1 terabyte, and then I might even get two, one for the plug and one for the load." Like, so, I get what they're doing. I'm not saying that everybody does that, but people tend to lie. That's why we found out 2 times that who you gonna vote for? They're not gonna tell you they're gonna vote for the dipshit because they don't want to look stupid, especially if they know everybody's gonna hate them. Well, they're gonna look at the person who's asking the question, and if the person who's asking the question looks like he lives in rich estate, you know, he might tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for the pumpkin." And then if he lives in Massachusetts in the liberal quarters, he's gonna tell you, "Oh no, I'm gonna vote for the freaking donkey." So I mean, polls are full of shit. Which is why my argument about self-assessment test, the INOJs, INOJ is a person who sings a song, "Shorty Swing My Way." No, that's not right. What does she sing? My Boo. Boy, you should know that. Yeah, INOJ. Her name was Joni. She just flipped it, INOJ. But you know those tests, right? What are those tests called? Everybody takes those tests. I think those tests are full of crap because I think people lie on the test or they don't know they lie. They just adjust it. What is it called?
The alphabet test?
INT. INT something. That's not right. What's not right? That's not right. That's internet test. What is it called? INTJ test. There you go. Myers Briggs. That's the name. Like, if they start asking, you start asking it questions. And the funny thing is, a lot of companies use this to put teams together, and it obviously don't work. Like, I don't know why everybody thinks like this is supposed to be gangster, but I don't think this mess work. This the word anagram. I think that people self um what's the word? Not self correct.
The
Self
key is being honest, which
yeah,
most people aren't.
they can't help it. Like, they might be blind to their own weirdness, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I have my personality blinders on certain things. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I'm not ever trying to be a dick, but I know it comes off as a dick because I just don't fall for, BS labeling or limiting beliefs, or I don't believe stress is as big as everybody says it is. I think people make more out of it. I think a lot of stress is self-efficating. I like a lot of stress is self-inflicted. You know, I don't like idiotic words like imposter syndrome and all this other crap. It's just you're insecure, dog. Like, you're making it more complicated than it really is. You're just insecure. Your insecurities are normally not yours. They're normally handed to you by somebody else. And most of the weird arguments that you have with yourself. So I think when you go in here and you start looking into these particular things, I'm pretty positive that the peacemaker is also pretty well capable of stirring some shit up.
Years ago, in a company that we had a team that was working on a massive global project, and we did this, but we did not rate ourselves. Everybody on the team anonymously rated everybody else on the team,
Oh, that
and
sounds
it was quite
better.
interesting.
Yeah, that
It was
sounds
it
way
was
better.
yeah, it was quite revealing but true.
Right, because I think it's better to get an idea of how somebody, not necessarily how somebody else sees you, because they also can be, they could be wrong, or not wrong is not the right way to put it. They can be like judgmental. And okay, so something I mentioned recently, and I'm sorry, the one that's on my head is going to come off sounding sexist, but trust me, it's not sexist because it will work in reverse. If you are working with somebody who recently got divorced or separated, or whatever, however disconnected from a person who had a similar personality trait, however that personality trait might have showed up differently. Okay, so let's say um, there's a person who is just ultra, what's the word I'm looking for, let's say Paul and I are working together, and I am ultra complimentary to Paul. Oh my God, Paul, I really like your shirt, man. That's super, super nice. Oh man, did you get your hair done? You mean like, yeah, I just did. No, I didn't, just comb that little spot over. But it's like, oh dude, that's really cool. Oh man, I really love that report you put out yesterday. It was clean, it was concise or whatever. And under normal circumstances, that should be accepted as, hey man, like this person really appreciates my work. Right? Now let's say Paul's ex, um, Steve, was the same way, but in the side, he was stealing all of Paul's money. Or on the side, he had like six other dudes, or like a whole different family, or some other bullshit, right? So to Paul, that representation of me being a genuinely nice person comes off as, oh, this mofo's up to something. Because they're painting the pretty picture, but it's not real. And so his reactions to my being complimentary might be to solid F off, or it might be to snap, or to just stop saying that shit. Like, leave me whatever. And then I'll be like, what the hell? What the hell? Because people have a tendency to put their past traumas onto you. So you might be presenting from 100% natural standpoint and really mean what you say, but their trauma might make them think that you're full of it. And I say this recently because I deal with somebody who has recently been through probably what would be considered a rough breakup, and they get slightly triggered by things that shouldn't trigger them because it's like, yo, I ain't do that to you. That was somebody else. What I said, I meant like it was genuine. But, I realize now that it's like the kick dog, right? So, when you go to adopt a pet, this is bad to switch it from people to dogs, but it's just how my brain works. If you go to adopt a pet and you reach down to tap their head and they run away, that's because maybe whoever had them before used to grab them by the top of their head, or, like pull their ears or do something heinous, right? And again, the only one that I know of, please nobody come at me. There's definitely kids and people, normally females, because domestic violence. Somebody would go to scratch their head and people duck. Like I've totally seen that before. I've done it because my mom used to be quick with her hands. My mom would go to scratch her nose and I'd be moving because I think she about to hit me and she would just laugh. Especially if I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And then she didn't even see me, but I thought she saw me because she raised her hand too quick, and then I was like, move out of the way, like I'm ready to get gangster with it. So, unfortunately, a lot of times people's reactions are not about you; it's about them, and so that's why I say don't get heated when somebody come at you in the comments. It don't say nothing about you, bro. When somebody say some shit to you in the comments, it's probably them. It's more than likely something that's directly in them. Yeah, it happened a lot this week because DaVinci. I made a video yesterday. DaVinci said that they're going to allow you to rent software. They're not saying they're going to subscription model. They just said if you want to rent because you want to bring on an assistant editor, you can rent Studio for $30 a month and let that editor have all of the features that you have. And then when you finish the project, you could just turn it off. And everybody goes, oh, no, they're just coding the language. They're lying. They're going subscription mode. And I'm like, you guys are a bunch of victim-minded bitches, bro. It's not about that. They didn't say anything about your regular license switching. They didn't say you couldn't use Studio no more. They didn't even say, here's the new price for Studio. Studio is still the same. But if you need to bring on an assistant editor, you can rent a license for a month because that's, sometimes projects are 2-3 months, right? And yes, it's a beautiful business play because if Paul are my editors and Paul Sr. and I both have Studio, but Paul Duncan doesn't, like we can say, you know what, fam, I'll buy you Studio for the month that I need you to call through all of these things and use the AI voice changes to fix these parts. And Duncan would be like, cool, he has no reason to spend $350. Now, if we do that 10 times, we're ignorant. we should have just bought Studio, and people will do that, because they just can't bring themselves to pull it all at one time. And if someone's going to hire you as an editor to do that, you make them pay the $30. Like, yo, I'll do it, but I need you to send me a license for Studio. Bet. I mean, some people, check this out. Some people, I'm going to say this one more time. Check this out. Some people said, I want to learn how to use DaVinci Resolve Studio. I already bought it, but I kind of suck. But I need you to hurry up, and you keep saying you're going to do it, and you ain't did it. So I'm going to send you 150 bones so I cover like half of your license. And I was like, damn it, fucking Paul Sr., you bitch. now I got to do it. Right? Because it was worth it to him rather than, him struggling by himself. He was like, this Git is smart. He used Git because he's British. Wait, why am I'm holding you up.
I was going to say it. Are you supporting me?
I was holding you up. I don't know what the other Paul is doing. He's probably drinking beer or something that I can't put him on screen. What the hell is he doing? He's asleep. He looked like he's asleep. Wake up, Paul. Anyway, he was like, yeah, if you hurry up and stop being a bitch, hurry up and do this because I need to learn some shit from you. And then he's like, all right, I'll cover half. And I was like, bet. And then, so, see what I'm saying? So instead of being a crybaby or a whiner, like if you need it and it's important, really important, like you really real deal Holyfield want it, there's definitely creative financing out there. And I tell people all the time, most of the people that cry about not being able to buy the new DJI Mic 3, this is not it. Paul has it, not me. Instead of saying like I can't afford 350 for the new DJI Mic 3, but I really want it, like I needed this project, it's super important, I got to get it done. How many people are willing to go wash some cars or cut some grass or paint some houses or help your brother-in-law finally take care of that underbrush in the backyard or whatever,
Find
and
a
just be
street
out there,
corner.
be like, yeah, go hoe for a second, whatever, man. You got that one ex-girlfriend you don't really like, but she got a little bit of money. You just might have to go, hit the dipstick real quick and then come back. But like, people love to talk. People love to be a victim, bro. I'm like always trying to solve a problem. Like, how do you solve
It
this
was
problem?
it, what intrigued me with the Mic 3 when it came out. Everybody was talking about, how, and it's pretty cool, but it was like somebody came up and said, "Oh, they totally missed the boat because you can't plug a lavalier into it and you can't do
Jevin,
this." And I'm like going,
that was Jevin Dovey.
it's like there are tons of mics out there, wireless, that you can do that with. It's like this mic isn't for you. It's not, I mean, it's like, it's not meant to fill everybody's bucket list. It's like,
Because if it did,
okay,
it wouldn't work.
go find something else.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, it totally wouldn't work. And like you got the Hollyland can do that, and it's almost as small, not quite as small, but almost as small. It does. Does the three have internal recording?
Yes.
Even that small?
Yep.
Holy
32
shit!
bits.
So they took the Mic Mini size and put an internal recorder?
Yep. It's just a
It,
tad bigger than the Mini, but yeah,
what?
it's got 32-bit float
Um, um,
and a
did
backup.
Aubrey try to get in? She can't get in. We locked you out, Obs. let me text her the
I've
link.
got it open. Make sure
Nah.
you're using the right link and not the class link.
Yeah, make sure you're not using the class link, Augs. I'll text you real quick, and then if not, just reboot your Zoom. Aubry, Aubrey, and then yeah, it's like I think it's super cool. Like I something that I kind of want, but I don't really need at the moment. I do want. I would eventually like to have four mics single receiver for doing things like camp. We're gonna have a bunch of people,
Yep.
and I can interview a bunch of people at one time. In which case, I'll just be like, Paul, let me use it. But I I looked at the Max 2, the Lark Max 2. No, hold on. Let me say the right things, people. I'm sorry. Let me say that. And by the way, for anybody who's hanging out in the back just lurking, this is Q&A. You can ask whatever. Me and Paul are just riffing until you guys come up with better things to say. Hollyland. Why'd you go to collections? Ain't nobody ask you that, pimp. I need to go to products. Man, listen. I hate websites that don't work the way I want it to work. This is it. Yeah, Lark Max 2. And then there's a Lark Max 2 Ultimate Kit. I really like the way Hollyland built their site. It's really good. Okay, so one of the first things they do show, oh no, that's not the right picture. They do show how you can get four joints on it at one time. And when we were at NAB and we were seeing this, they didn't mention that you could connect all four. So that's something that they
Yep.
recently updated. But this combo right here, pause. This combo right here is cool because it has, you don't need a password, woman, just click it. You should be good to go. Um, it has the ear pods. Why do I always want to call them pods? It basically, these are monitors. So you can hear what the mic is doing or sounding like if you're wearing it. So if you're the camera person, you can put this on your head and you can put maybe the other one, say, on a director's head. And then you can have these two on your talent and they're talking and it will all work. The other thing that's really cool about the way the Hollyland does it, if you put this little piece in the middle here at the top middle, if you put that into the phone and then you have the little beetle on top of the camera, it can switch between these. So you don't have to repair these microphones. I'm not making any sense in out loud. I'm making sense in my head, but I can just see you guys glazing because I can see Paul's eyes right now. So if I take this and put the little butt piece on here, I see you, sis. I got your question in 1 second, right? If you go like this and I put it on here and I have this paired to here so I can talk on my phone, this is paired to this receiver. But if I put this receiver on my phone, on my camera, and then I have the other little phone receiver stuck into the bottom of the phone, I don't have to repair the microphones to the different receivers like both of them would work. It just depends on which one you have active at the time, which I think is a really neat feature because a lot of times you are shooting in camera and a lot of times you're shooting on the phone and you don't want to have to keep repairing. One of the reasons why I have basically these two, right, plus an additional, and I have one more, is because these ones stay connected to the pocket and these ones are for just be life. Because switching them back and forth, it is quick, but it's a pain in the butt. It's easy
Yeah.
to say it's quick, but it's a pain in the butt. Because what inevitably happens is you forget how to do the pair reset. And there's a Bluetooth pairing, and then there's a radio pairing. And the Bluetooth pairing is one different set of hand tricks, and the radio pairing is a different set of hand tricks plus the case. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I was going to switch to the Hollyland specifically for that. And then let me answer Dina's question, and I want to say one more thing about Hollyland, which I'm getting into. So, Dina, first of all, long time no see. Can't wait to get to Seattle to catch up with my sis. It's been a minute. We're coming to go see Dina in like 3-4 weeks, so I'm super excited. Actually, it'll be today, October, like 1 month from now. Why he can't speak English? Anyway, let me reset this. She said, why do so many creators hold the little wireless mics up to their mouths instead of just clipping it on their shirt? Dude, I argued and bitched and complained about this for the longest time.
Drives me nuts.
And then it drives me insane too. And then Mary Lou slapped me upside my head. And then she's like, listen, bitch, let me explain to you why. And I get it now, but it's super irritating. It's still irritating,
still dumb.
but I fully understand. Okay, so here's what it's really about. This, doing something dumb like this, is just a visual, like, mental breakup because it's off. It's weird. It's like when you see a lady or a dude wearing a certain color outfit with the most obnoxious wrong color shoes. Your eye can't help but see it, right? Or somebody that's wearing a really big hat where this hat should not be. Your brain just gets locked on and you just like. So they use it as a visual hook, partially. The other thing that Mary Lou said, for a lot of people, doing something like this is like a Linus blanket, like it's a comfort situation. Like this makes them feel less awkward because it's a shield between the camera and them. So they'll do it to like a spoon or a hairbrush or a spatula or, something like this. Yeah.
I can almost understand having it like you had it attached to like the book or whatever. But when somebody is just standing there holding it in their hand, it's
Yeah.
like, why?
Well, because you normally get the distance wrong, number one, and then you tend to do this while you're talking, and it
Yep.
changes them too. At least this, it's kind of normal, except for I find when I pin it on my chest, I always go like this, and then I come like this, and if the volume goes. So luckily, Auphonic handles that. But Dina, whenever I use it in my hand, all I do is clip it to my fingy like this, and I hold it, or I'll be like this. All right, so let me explain to you something, White House, about going around and stealing people out of their homes, talking about go back to your country. They from here,
Well,
right?
the other thing that I find interesting, even with handheld mics, is people that talk with their hands. They're holding the mic,
Yeah,
and
they do
their
this.
hands are moving all over it. It's
Yeah,
like
100%.
you can't do.
Like the road interview, right?
Like,
Here,
I'm going
I
to
got it.
tape
I
the
see
mic to
people
your
do
forehead.
this. It cracks me up. So they're like this, and Christina Aguilera does it, and she does this to keep the beat, and she also does it to control her breath sounds. But people be talking on the mic, and then they be like, then coming back, and then the other day, and then I was like, listen, hold the damn mic in front of your face, or go like this. It drives me crazy when people do that. Oh my God, especially because they tend to move their hands on the most important parts because that's part of the excitement. Drives me absolutely insane. I do have one thing about clipping to the shirt though, Dina. The shirt clip bothers me because I don't like rolled collars. So one of the reasons, like Paul is wearing Bella Canvas and I'm wearing the Comfort Cotton. I like Comfort Cotton because the collar doesn't get all jacked up. Beefy tees collars turn into like oysters. It looks super stupid by the end of the day, just from the chest humidity. And so when you pin it on something like that, it can drip or droop, and it also just does weird things to your shirt. Like, I already hate the fact that my merino is sticking to this t-shirt, so it's causing my shirt to look more wrinkled than it is. So I am seriously thinking about crafting a leather necklace that you clip your mic onto that will keep it in the right position, because people clip down here, people clip up here, people clip over here, which is really dumb, because as soon as you turn your head this way, you're way far from the mic. So I see people clipping in all kind of weird positions. So what I have been doing normally is, if you see me at a conference, I'll clip it to my lanyard. Like when we walking around camp, it's stuck on my lanyard the whole time, because at least it's kind of in the right spot and it's not attacking my shirt. So I'm
I've
gonna
used
craft something.
the Pocket 3, mount magnetic mount
Mm.
you put behind your shirt. I've attached them to that, which has actually worked too.
Yeah, I've been using it to the what's the white one that came with this camera? I've been using the necklace for this to stick
Yep.
the mic on, and then that kind of helps. But I think I want to craft just a plain one. Maybe I'll make it out of paracord so it's washable. You know what I mean? Just make a paracord necklace with a little magnet in it that you can just thwink a microphone to it and call it a day. So I need to go out to the craft store and buy some paracord, and I completely forget how to parabraid. I'm gonna have to go learn myself how to do that.
Somebody in the Bay Area did a TV commercial, and this guy was walking, talking about wrecked vehicles, and he had one of those in his hand that he was talking about, and it was like you couldn't understand what the guy was saying.
Yeah,
It
because
was
some
like,
people hold it too close too, and then it's just popping. It's super obnoxious. Yeah, I used to be really, really triggered, but like what Dina said, she said, this is funny. She said, I gotta move on instantly. They could be telling me where to find $1,000,000 in my yard and I still move on to the next video. I was kind of triggered by that, and I was the same way. And then Mary Lou, she made me stop. And then I'm gonna just listen to her. She's smarter than me. I'm gonna just let it go. It does drive me insane though, because I'm an audio person. I like good audio. And I saw a video recently, and the video was good. Like what he was saying was good. I couldn't stomach it though. The audio was so bad. I had to legit walk away. It was legit
yep.
killing me. It was legit killing me. I think better, to Dina's point, like I always run a lot through my shirt. I think better nowadays would be to actually put, like, like what Jevin was saying, put an actual lav on here. Because now that these are popular and the wireless part works, I think people forget you can still stick a regular lav in here. So you could put this anywhere and then just plug in the regular lav and then go better. You know what I mean? And then it's smaller, it's not heavy on your shirt, the sound quality is just as good. You get all the benefits of this. And so on the road, it comes with the actual lav, whereas the DJI doesn't. But you can get lav for like 20 bones, just stick it in there.
That's like, that Ceramonic Ultra that I won at NBA
It came
has a
with it,
lav,
yeah.
which is really, and the Air is the same way. The thing with the Air is it comes with a lav that you can, the Ceramonic Air, but that it's a special lav. It's like you can't buy a generic lav and use it, but it works too.
Yeah, so like this Rode one, oh my God, I just made a mess out of this. I normally don't do this, but I
There's a guy
kinda
on TV
dropped it.
or on YouTube that has a video on how to wrap
It was wrapped.
cables.
I just dropped it real fast and made a mess. So, so this DJI one does have a locking pin, but I do believe it still reaches all the way in the hole. Okay, yeah, it does. So one thing you gotta be careful of, sometimes the locking screw, like this locking screw is inset. This is gonna be so hard to make sense, head no tails of this, but let me see if I can make it make sense. You can do it, Sony. Okay, that's too close. There you go. So this locking screw is inset, meaning the teeth, they go down in here, so they're not up. On some of them, if the teeth go up, it's going to shorten the pin, right? This little pole right here. Then it won't reach all the way to the bottom. You won't be able to use it only except for the mic that it came with. The way Rode did it, their hole actually lifts up so it goes inside. So this still works on a regular camera or a regular mic. So it goes all the way in. And you can tell because if you tug it, it doesn't come out. So this guy is good to go, right? So in theory, if I wanted to, I could just take these little Rode doohickeys and put them on my regular setup. One thing that's cool about the Rode Lab, which you can buy separate for like $29, is you can pop off this little thing right here, which I'm having a hard time right now. And then you can change the color so that you know who's who. So it comes with a black one, but inside the package, it comes with the other, pride-oriented ones. So you can switch up the little piece. And mine is stuck inside this little dime bag over here. You see, so you can add these in order to let you know who's talking. So, and it has a little foam afros on the top too. So I think, sort of going halfway between what Dina was saying is I would take something like this and a Band-Aid and just reach up into the shirt and then tape it to the chest. And then can't nobody see it. It's not weighing on my shirt at all. Ain't nothing clipped to nothing, and it just works. You know what I mean? It's just good to go. So I think too many people have gone so far with these little mics that they forget about lav capabilities. So I understand where Jevin was coming from because of what he does, but he should also just kind of like put it out and be like, for me, I still think it's great, but for me, I kind of need that lav capability because I never know when I need to actually pin a mic on something. Now, one other thing about lavs, which you guys have heard me said before, but just in case there's new people, if you, like Dina, have hair, all you do is take this sucker and put it like right in there by your hair and then cover it up with your hair and then put the mic down the back and nobody will ever see it. And your hair is like this. No one can see it at all. And then you will sound super good. You will sound absolutely delicious because if you watch a stage performer, right? I normally would show people the picture of Hamilton. I'll see if I can find it. If you watch a stage performer, the mic is in the wig.
I've gone through about 15 of those bloody mics. The cables keep going.
There are Kevlar cable.
Paramonic
cable.
has one that you could
Yeah.
like nearly destroy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Paul. So here, I'll show you guys real quick on the old browsy browse. Did I zoom in? I was like, wow, that's so weird. So what people, this is a good idea. This is a standard, those standard barrettes, right? And so they just put it in the little thing, put the microphone right there, and then you take the top layer of her and you cover it. So if you happen to be a person that has her, you can look at this dude right here. Oh my God. Oh, he reminds me of what's the dude with the Paul, what's the dude with the ukulele?
Oh yeah. Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. Yeah. So yeah, if you got hair, that's a good place to put it. Like, you know what I mean? They always just hide it right up in there. And yes, Paul, you can buy lavaliers with Kevlar cables. They're not that much more expensive, but it will keep you from breaking a cable.
The problem being with me, we're using it in the workshop, and of course I'm bending down, standing up, bending down, and because it's always on my buckle, the actual DJI mic.
The pack, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it always seems to go in the cable. Roads replaced 3 of them.
Yeah. So that's why you want a Kevlar reinforced cable. So here is this is made by Rode, but this is a Kevlar reinforced cable. They will not break. They showed a demo when we were at NAB, and like the dude closed it in a suitcase. Like they like ran over it a bunch of times with the chair,
Dumped it
and
in water.
you just can't break it because the Kevlar sort of covers it. It acts as a protector. I would definitely look into getting a Kevlar reinforced cable. That would just save you just the hassle because, yeah, it is kind of irritating. Completely irritating.
Oh. I'd be grateful if you could mail it me because I can't do it when I'm driving.
Yeah, okay. I'll
see if I can find
the
link for the
Saramonic one.
Yeah. That was impressive.
Yeah, that ceremonic kit is super super nice. It was a K9 kit. And the hills were alive. I don't see her. I'll find it, Paul, or I'll reach out to my contact at Ceremonic and see if we can find it. Tina said I should make a
Thanks.
PSA video about that. Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. It just I get why they do it. I think sometimes this is also pretty crazy. They I shouldn't say they, because I'll be lying if I said we didn't do the same thing. But it's weird now to be on this side of it, because I know for a fact that we did the same thing when we were wee childrens. They will do anything and everything to go completely the opposite of whatever it is that we tell them. And so, because a lot of OGs, especially dudes, will go to these people in their comments and say, why are you doing like that? That's completely wrong, whatever, whatever. Their response to it is to specifically do it wrong, knowing that it's going to piss off the people in the comments. And the reason why they do that is, well, because they can't actually fight. They never been in a fisticuffs. See, we grew up fighting. So we would say stuff knowing that you might actually get hit. So if you said something, you kind of meant it. But nowadays, kids don't get in fights. They never been in one. So they don't know. So the only way that they can fight back is to just try to piss you off. I know that sounds hella stupid, but I know this to be true because I talked to my niece about it. Like, I was like, y'all don't have fights at school every day? She's like, no, we never have fights at school. I'm like, wait, what? Like 3 o'clock at the flagpole was, hey, Dina, what? Yo, you heard about Paul and Steve? What? 3 o'clock flagpole. All right, bet. Who you got money on? Man, Paul, y'all don't know, he's a little fruity, but he could box. So, like, that was every day at the flagpole or behind the school or, the baseball, or you call it the backstop. You're going to meet at the backstop. Like, there was a place in your neighborhood where all of the squabs went down. Kids nowadays, they don't do that because kids nowadays be bringing an M16. So they just, for safety reasons, they don't box no more. So the only way that they can fight nowadays is just irritate the shit out of people. It's kind of funny. It might be just me being an old man, but I swear, I don't see kids boxing like we used to box. And we used to
I
box
hate to say it.
and make up after.
I hate to say
Yeah.
it. I think it was a better world when we used to fight in school rather than what they're doing nowadays.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you. It seems, everyone's like, what about peace? I'm like, there's a certain rite of passage to just, we're not talking about harming somebody. We're talking about standing your ground level fisticuffs. We're not talking about what they do now where they can't take it and they want to go take each other out, like out. Or bullying. I think bullying also comes from the fact, the way it's done today, bullying comes from the fact that they don't really box it out. So when we had a bully, normally somebody would, if you have people on your side, not all cases, but if you have people on your side, y'all would go meet up and y'all would tell the lesser person, okay, now it's time to box. All right, we're going to tell the bully dude, all right, it's going to be one-on-one. And if you want to fight, then fight. But if some of your friends jump in it, then it's going to be a problem. Like, and 9 times out of 10, the bully would get their butt kicked because they would mostly talk. But like we had a hierarchy of solving these issues. And they just don't. The best ones was when the girls would get ready. Because, they was different. Like, dudes would box, and then they would shake hands and go to the ice cream stand later. But girls, they was always like 6 deep, whole squad, hold my books, let my hair down, or let me braid you up real quick. And then they get the hair braided. Like, it was all girl fights was just different game, dude. I was like, I never want to be on the end of one of them girl fights. They was different. Like, they had like a comb somewhere they would pull out and slap each other with it. Like, it was different. But yeah, it's kind of weird. And people are mad at us because we're saying that they should fight. But I think hands was better than what they do now, which is go on the internet and put somebody's whole life on blast Or, like all the idiot J-holes who like to do revenge porn. That's just super, super stupid. Dina said, yeah, Gen X girl fights were the real deal. Absolutely. Man, listen, Dina, I know that you handled your business because I'm your friend. I bet you knocked a few bitches out. Speaking of knocking bitches out, AT, she act like she nice and cute with the dimples and the smile. I guarantee you, AT knocked a couple bitches out at school too. Because the nice people always the worst ones. Look, she said, I got hands. I knew it. I knew you from Detroit, bro. I know for a fact. At was like, oh, you want to meet at the school? All right, cool. I'll see you at 3:30. Bring your family. Because I'm gonna slap you so hard, it's gonna go a couple weeks up the family tree.
Guy
We shouldn't
fights were
we shouldn't
boring.
talk
I mean, the
about
girl
violence,
fights were the
Paul.
exciting ones.
What'd you say, Paul?
I said the guy fights were boring. The girl fights were the ones
Oh,
that were
girl fights was
exciting.
always exciting, and they had better cut downs. Like guys had lame cut downs. Girls, when they go against each other, they had better cut downs. And you always knew when you
And
won when the other person would just get to shut up. Well, just shut up. All right, I won.
I never
it's
got to
like,
fight because nobody would fight me.
See, Aubrey had hands too. It's just
I
different,
was in a private school. I was in a private school. It was the only time you get to see a bit of flesh.
right? Right. And then the girl fight. Same here. I was in private school, so when the school jacket came off, oh, it's about to go down. You put that little crest. You fold your jacket up neat so your moms don't get mad at you. And it was a known code, right? Because like for the dudes, we all had the white shirt, and then we had the striped tie, and then we had the jacket, and then the khakis. And you couldn't rip up your white shirt because like your mom's was gonna kill you. So when we got ready to box, we took time, we took off the jacket, we folded up nicely, take off the shirt, you fold it up nicely, and then you square up, right? Nobody was gonna attack somebody and mess up their school uniform. Like that was just part of the code. You know what I mean? So it is kind of funny that, unfortunately the way they take things now, it's a little bit too serious, and I kind of understand why, but I really do agree. Like as crazy as it sounds, it just seemed like to be able to just get the problem over with and it's done. And it was a thing, like the whole school would back you. If you, okay, so if Paul and I got into a fight and then the fight was over, it was over. And then if somebody had to come back and be chiming in later, it was like, no, that was already settled. And the whole school would hold you to that. Over was over. Now these things, they just drawn out into these long, obnoxious, whatever. And if you look at, we are animals and nobody wants to admit to that. But if you look at some of the, this in the nature environment, animals do the same thing, bro. Like, and I think we forget that we're animals. We're supposed to be better than that, but we're not because our instincts at the end of the day are very much tied to the same.
What I loved is when someone was the loser and he was on the ground, you'd put your hand out and pick him up. You
Yes.
wouldn't kick him or anything like that.
Yes.
That was it. It was over.
Even the
There was a
person who
dignity about
won
it.
would pick the other person up and be like, "All right, we good?" And that was it. I see videos all the time of kids kicking other kids in the head on the ground, and I'm like, nephew, do you know how dumb that is? Because if you harm that person enough, you're done. I mean, your life is over. You should never, ever, ever kick somebody in the head. Ever. And I've seen a person at a nightclub get into a fight and they were just a pushing fight. They weren't even actually fighting yet. And he pushed the dude over the yellow thing that stops you from crashing your car into the wall. And the other dude like got like severely injured. And now that person's doing like 20. All
when I
because,
was
oh, you
in,
stole my girl. She wasn't your girl, fool. I know because I know who she was really talking to. But like this dude like is now doing 20 for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and it could have just been a normal ass fight. And if you was going to box, then just box. Don't be pushing each other around.
I
Who-
was never a fighter. And when we moved to Michigan in the second half of ninth grade, the school that I went to, I mean, if you watch the old movies with the desks attached to each other, I mean, this school was a school where your parents went to school there when they were young. It was very old.
And they still have the
And
same chairs.
yep, I was getting beat up like constantly in the hallways. And those counselors said, well, you need to learn to defend yourself. So my parents sent me to karate school. And so I started learning that. And we were in homeroom one day, and a guy came up behind me. One of the kids was going to, start a fight with me again and beat the crap out of me. And I flipped him over my shoulder and sprawled him across the desk. He got hurt. And that was the first and the last time that I used it. Never had to do it again after that.
This is Paul's
Nobody
chair.
touched me.
This is how he went to
Oh,
school.
it was worse than that, but that was close.
This
Had those
joint,
too.
this joint is mad old. This joint is mad
That
old.
was that school was where I learned that radiators are hot.
Oh God, yeah, dude, radiators worse. Hey, what happened to AT? Sal said, who you got, Tyson or Mayweather? Man, listen, here's a funny thing. Considering where I grew up and the people I grew up with, I was really into boxing up until Mayweather came on the scene, and now I just don't even pay attention anymore. I did watch the Logan Paul Tyson thing because it was kind of a national thing, but I really don't watch them anymore because it's all just, I mean, it's so scripted nowadays. It's really crazy. Like, it's really crazy. And yeah, I tell you what, I feel really crazy about this. I didn't even know this was popping off. So now, Sal, you just opened up a can of worms, damn it. Now I got to go check. Now I got to go check and see what's going on. But no, normally I just kind of stayed away from it. And when I say people I grew up with, I grew up in my high school years. I grew up in the same neighborhood with Ray Leonard. And we had the Ray Leonard boxing gym at the end of the street. Like the whole thing. Yeah, it's very much like wrestling now. It just turned into sort of entertainment. And I don't know, it's just kind of irritating. The way that Don King started it with like Ray Leonard and oh my God, what the heck is Tommy's damn name? Tommy Henderson? Not Tommy Henderson. What the hell was his name? Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. I think I said that right. They would be like, okay, the first fight, Ray gonna win. And then Hearns wants to rematch, and then Hearns rematch, and then Hearns win, and then they fight again, and then it's a draw, and then Ray has the ultimate comeback, and then he wins. And I was just like, this seemed a little bit too, weird, right? Especially from Palmer Park, we seen Ray all the time. Like, he at the gym, he training, you seen him train. No way he losing to Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns was good, but he wasn't Ray Leonard good. And I'm like, yo, Don King is making this stuff work. That was the first time I thought it was bad. And then as Tyson was coming up and he was ruining everybody, all of a sudden he couldn't make money on the box no more because everybody just knew he was going to win too fast. Like, he was winning too fast. So then Tyson fights started going deeper into the rounds. And it's like he's winning and he would back off. And I was like, no person with that brain backs off. That dude was 100% like one of the best athletes we have ever seen as a human. And that's when I just knew Don King was getting a little crazy. Like, when you got Vitaly Klitschnikov out here beating somebody, I'm like, man, shut up.
I stopped watching when they started biting.
Yeah, that biting thing was crazy. But see, that was proof that Tyson is not the type of person that control and back off. Because he lost it then, and then he bit the ear, right? That was real Tyson. That wasn't, Don King told him to do X. So I don't know. It'll be entertaining. I agree with Sal.
I miss the days of the Rumble in the Jungle and Ali and all that.
Oh my God, we were kids though. We were kids. That was so good back then. Like, oh my God. Ali beats Frazier. Ali beats Frazier. I mean, I remember staying up late and then sitting on the ground in the living room with Dad and Grandpa, and we were just like watching the stuff. And then my mom's swearing up and down that she don't like that, but she always be like leaned over, like looking around the corner. And then when like Ali would start with him, she'd be like, get him. We'd be like, what? She'd be like, nothing. She swore like, she's a God-fearing woman, so she don't like boxing, but she'd be right up in there watching the whole thing.
I had to climb out of my bedroom window to go and watch that fight.
Well, at your friend's house?
Go over my face.
Yeah,
Yeah, because parents wouldn't let me watch it.
yeah. It was like I think that stuff was good. I tell you what I really enjoyed this week. I really enjoyed the Chiefs and the Chargers. I don't like the Chiefs, by the way. I'm a Raiders fan, but I enjoyed watching them play in Brazil. I think NFL was really smart in taking the product the way that, FIFA has been doing forever. NFL started taking the product and moving it to different countries and letting them see it real. So there's going to be a whole bunch of international games this year. But I think the thing that was so cool was to be in Udinese Stadium and here in Sao Paulo how loud the people would cheer for everything. And so, as a person who has experienced Japanese sports, like going to a baseball game in Japan, you cheer, the play is good, you cheer no matter what. Like, you still are your fans, but because you are fully confident in your pride, you're not a bitch and boo the other team when they do something good. Like, you still give them credit because it's sportsmanlike, right? You give them credit for a good thing. So it was kind of neat to hear they cheered just as loud for Herbert and the Bolts as they cheered for dipshit Mahomes and the Cheats, right? And it was really cool just to watch the audience like just get into it and just like enjoy their life. Like it was really interesting. And it was the same thing when the NFL went to London last year, they're just cheering for anything that happened good. And that was super cool. So I think hopefully them sharing the game with the planet like this might make Americans chill out because sometimes we be getting into some crazy ass things over the ideas of like, repping your team. I'm like, if you put that much energy into taking care of yourself as you do for that jersey that you don't get paid anything for, your life would be so much better. Your life would be just chilling, like just chilling. Yeah, it's going to be.
Apart from yourself, how was football? Because football's been coming to America for about 10 years now. And how has America sort of grasped football now?
You mean round football?
Stock,
Yeah.
soccer.
No, I say football too. You know me. I'm British inside. It's been doing better, but we're going to forever be stuck until we take it out of the collegiate system. Unfortunately, guys here that start most everybody in the chat played when they were young, whether they liked it or not. That was just how it was. And then when you get to high school, there's no more opportunity after that. You could go to college, but it's not like a farm system. So the really, really elite players, they get sent to Europe to play. And everybody else here, they go through the collegiate system and then they just kind of disappear. So until we get like, footballing academies where you basically, it's a private school and you go all the way through and it's part of your everyday education, we're going to have a hard time. So there are some experiments going on in Oregon and Portland and Utah and in Washington states. So people are building like full-on footballing academies and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we have so many good American players that play in the EPL. There's probably about 40 players that play in the EPL right now, and they're really, really good. But, it's hard to do that cohesively here as a team. I think also what's been helping out a lot is the superstars that retire from the Bundesliga, the EPL, La Liga, whatever, and they come to play MLS at the end. So, like, the fact that Messi is here and now Beckham owns a team, like, you got Americans buying into the British teams, right? So we got ownership in Newcastle. We got ownership in Tottenham. We got ownership in
Swansea,
Manchester United. Yeah, so that's going to help out a lot. Even Ed Sheeran, like Ed Sheeran owns a team now, so it's starting to pick up.
who's the guy? Who's the guy that's got Swansea now? He's one of your crazy guys. Oh.
I just watched this. It was kind of crazy. Oh my God, I just watched it. The one of the U.S. owners. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I didn't know that off the top of my dome. What is up, Rye? Happy belated birthday. Yeah, our culture can be mad toxic. All right, guys, just Q&A, couple more questions. If you got any, throw them out there. Anybody needs any help? Ernesto, what is happening, brother? Good to see you here. I appreciate you. Oh, Sal, listen, fam, that is my thing. That is my thing. I was up this morning right before we came in watching qualifying because I'm getting really, really pissed off at Forza for messing with my mans. Like he trying to tell these ding dongs how he needs the car set up and they should listen to him, but they're cocky because they've been doing it for so long. They're not listening to the driver. But I was just up watching qualifying, and I'm loving the fact that Verstappen is getting squashed right now, although he won pole position for the Italian GP. But yeah, I'm loving to watch the Norris fight. Norris and Piastri are just hilarious because they're friends, but they have no choice but to try to, compete against each other, even though they're on the same team. And I feel like Ferrari is, I don't know, I don't know why they're not listening to Lewis, but yeah, but they're still holding down second place in the Creators Cup, so Constructors Cup. So yeah, interesting. I love F1. I can't wait to go to see F1 in Suzuka because I can combine 2 trips at once. And last year when I wanted to go, Paul and I went to Vegas to NAB instead. But like, yeah, right? Dude, Lewis is my dude, and they're doing him wrong. I think the other person who I absolutely love, who they just demolished because they couldn't handle the fact that he was so free in speaking, was Daniel Ricciardo. I think D-Man was the bomb. He was super good. He was fast as crap, but they couldn't control him. And when they can't control you, they squash you. Like they ruined him. I really thought once he got to McLaren, it would get better because of the American ownership. But here's the sleeper. Here's the sleeper, people. F1 did everything in their power to try to block Cadillac. I think Cadillac's pick of drivers, not my favorite, but Cadillac is going to be different. See, Haas, they don't got the same kind of money as GM. And so Haas has been fighting for like almost 8 years to try to do something. And their biggest mistake was getting rid of Gunther, because that was my man. Gunther, F-bomb Gunther, he was the bomb. His whole language was F-bombs this, F-bombs that. So me and Gunther was homies. But I think Cadillac, and with the Andretti's in the back of it, next year Cadillac is going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And they're going to do everything in their power to hold them back. They're going to be like, the chassis is wrong, their underplates don't work, or they're not following this rule, or this is not how we always did it. They're going to do everything in their power because they already tried to block them. And Cadillac was like, cool, here's $450 million to shut the fuck up dollars. and they're like, oh, well, we can't ignore $500 million. I guess we got to let them in. And Cadillac's like, next question, hookers. So I can't wait to see what happens next year. Cadillac is going to be one. Cadillac is going to be a trip. Like, it's going to be an absolute trip. I'm a hardcore BMW fan. I am missing BMW F1. I wish they would stayed in the game. Audi is also coming back. So Audi is going to put a car back in the game too. And yeah,
Not a cheap game to be in, though, is it?
Oh, no, but that's what I'm saying. GM got the money, so they could do it. And that's what FIFA tried to do. I don't know if you paid attention to that, Paul. FIFA tried to say Cadillac can't come in because they can't get a power plant. And Cadillac's like, bitch, we make engines. Like, we'll make our own power plant. So they tried to block, them from buying like Honda power plant or, whatever. And Cadillac's like, yo, we will build an entire power plant facility, and they built it in Milton Keynes. So they went right next door to McLaren and bought up a bunch of sheep land and then built a factory and was like, next question. And they're like, well, they started coming up with all kind of shit. And Cadillac was like, what else you need?
I just drove past there.
Oh, you did? Oh,
About
my
20
God.
minutes ago, yeah.
Next time steal some pictures next time you go by, because I'd like to see it.
Oh, I don't. Too close to London, mate.
It's super funny though. I just like everything that FIFA threw at Cadillac. Cadillac just reached in the wallet and was like, "Okay, what else you got? What else do you got? What do you need?" And they're like, "Well, you don't
They put a
know
lot.
F1 culture." And they're
They,
like, "Yo, Mario Andretti was my dad, you bitch. Like, shut up, let me in."
yeah, they put more than one objection into them, though, didn't they?
Yeah,
They've objected a few times on different things.
I think it was 6 total. I think they tried 6 different shady things, and Cadillac was like, "All right," and they would just disappear and come back with it done. So I mean, like there literally is lessons to be learned in that if you really want something. Of course, you might not always be able to throw money at it, but if you really want something, the ejection is just there to try to scare you off, you know? And so I think when we do what we do, right, as content creators, a lot of times our objections are are either self-inflicted or somebody that just doesn't necessarily want to see you succeed. And a lot of times people throw those out not meaning to be that. They're not maybe let me make this make sense. They may not be intentionally trying to block your progress. They might be thinking that they're protecting you from something. You know, and or they're just hung up on their own problems and again they try to put that on you. So from a content creator standpoint, sometimes you got to look at these objections and be like, am I willing to attack this no matter what? And that's why I always ask the question when people say that they want to do this. I'm like, okay, cool. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to do this? Because you're going to have to give up something. Like everybody's life only has X amount of space. And so if you want to do this, like what are you going to give up in order to do this? And strangely enough, I don't think I played FIFA on my Xbox in like 6 months. I used to spend like 2-3 hours a day playing FIFA. Or I haven't played Call of Duty. Like my Xbox now just runs the TV. And yeah, I want to play? Yeah. Do I want to buy a new Xbox? Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm having more fun doing the content creating thing. So like something has to go. You know what I mean? I don't even go drinking with my friends no more.
The 3 people I've helped get YouTube channels set up, the one thing I noticed with all of them, they think it's going to happen overnight. And you keep trying and, you know, they just, they give up because they just do not have the commitment.
Yeah, it's hard because again, you're correct. Everybody does think it's easy because they're looking at finished product. You know who made do they have Home Depot in the UK or what is the Home Depot equivalent in the UK?
Oh, B&Q.
Okay. So, you know how you go to your home improvement store, right? In Japan, it's Matsubara and we got Home Depot, you guys got B&Q. Home Depot has made a multi-billion-dollar industry out of people assuming that it's easy. Right? You know how much money they make on paint because most people don't know how to paint, so they buy way too much paint. And Home Depot sells rollers that absorb like 50% of that can, and you wash half of it down the sink. Because if you watch Pro Painter, I can't reach mine, it's behind me, but Pro Painters paint with skinny rollers. They don't absorb that much paint. But Home Depot sells you the fat, thick, nap, obnoxious sponge rollers. And all of the people that don't like cleaning brushes, so they buy sponge rollers. What does a sponge do, folks? It soaks up all the damn paint. The only reason why you see a pro use a sponge roller is it's a really weird non-conforming surface. Other than that, it's always wool. And they're like, well, I don't want to buy the $40 wool rollers, so let me buy the $10 fake wool rollers. Well, fake wool rollers are basically little straws. They just absorb all the paint. So for the amount of people that look at somebody painting, a professional painter, which is going to cost you $4,000 to paint your house, you're going to be like, I can do this by myself. So Home Depot's like, bet, I'm going to sell you paint with a built-in primer for more. That shit don't work. And then I'm going to sell you a whole bunch of like rollers that suck up all the paint for more. and then you're gonna do the whole thing, and you're gonna hate it. But you, in your brain, you save like $1,000 by the time you're done with it. Your marriage is in a in a twist because you're gonna fight. Like, yeah, Home Depot has made a killing out of make people assume that they can do shit by themselves.
And IKEA have done the same in assembling furniture.
100%.
How many people don't read the bloody paper?
100%. So I think you're right about content creators assuming that, they're just going to pop up and their channel just going to kick off. I think a lot of that comes from this mentality, the DIY. I appreciate it. I love it. I love the fact there's so many things that we can do ourselves. But I think people forget at the end of it, there are some basic things that have to remain constant, right? And whether that's content creating or, sort of home improvement, there's certain things that need to remain constant. And part of it is, that sort of skill level, the time, the patience, the craftsmanship, the attention to detail, all of that stuff has to be there. And unfortunately, there's no magic pill. That being said, there's some dope tools out right now. I'm going to make a video probably today to show you guys of another tool that I just found, which is kind of sort of off the hook. And I learned about it when I went to Macstock. And I downloaded the trial and I didn't even use it. And so the only way I could keep using it was I had to go and buy the paid version. I didn't want to do a trial reset. I could have emailed the creator because I know him and asked for the trial reset. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pay for this and see what happens. It's pretty cool. So I'll make a video for you and I'll show you. Maybe I'll show you guys in class today as it helps me plan out the video. But yeah, super, super interesting. Like I think the way content creating is going right now, I'm always say there's no better time than the present. There's no better time than the present to get back in. Man, Sal, come back in. We need all the creators we can. I think there's tis the season, especially if you are thinking about making a podcast, no matter what the podcast is. I think anybody who got something to say, now is the time to get in there. Because yes, the actual production is easier than ever before. And so Sal, if you look on my channel, maybe like 3-4 days ago, I want to say it was Monday. No, it was Sunday. I know it was Sunday. If you go back,
I think you're missing one there though, Doc.
What?
People are wanting real content
There you
now
go.
more
Yeah.
than this AI generation.
100%. So that was the video on Sunday. So if you go find the video on Sunday, the thumbnail literally says, "Is it too easy?" Go find that video and watch that video. It ain't that long. And of course, I'm a jackass. I'm telling you to watch one of my videos. That's my job. But no, for real, it's really good because my premise of that video is that, yeah, content creating is easier than ever before, as long as you got your head around the fact that people want to see the real deal you and not something kind of crazy. This one right here, where I'm making this stupid face with the question mark. It's been 13 minutes of your time. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that video. Go watch that video and then watch the video about the confidence trap. Those two things will help you get back in the game. Because I guess the more curious question, Sal, since you're kicking it with us, why did you leave in the first place? We're not going to judge you. I just want to know. Like, be honest. Why did you leave in the first place? And whatever that is, we'll help you get back in the game. Because it turns out that people just need to see more real content. There's so much like overly processed. It's almost like food, fam. Like I'm at the point now where overly processed content is about as terrible as overly processed food. It's delicious. It feels good going in, but it ain't got no substance. So anybody that's been to McDonald's lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It tastes good on the way going in. You pound that sucker in your mouth in like 15, 20 minutes. And 20 minutes after, I'm hungry again. Or you feel like crap. One of the two. I really think that the overly processed content, the faking the funk, everybody trying to be somebody who they ain't. That is, to me, is extremely analogous to fast food. We're at fast content, which is just like fast fashion, right? It look good. Oh, this outfit is sick. I look cute, right? You throw that sucker in the wash, that bitch don't fit no more. 80% of the color done came out. Threads is already coming out. Like the elastic is sagging after about 3 times in the dryer. You know, that's where we at. It's kind of, oh, Paul, you just gave me a damn video. Let me write this shit down before I forget. Thank you. I don't know why I like hanging out with this old crusty ass. This is actually a good topic. Let me write that down. Fast content. Boom. Yeah. There used to be a conversation about, posting everywhere and going wide. Yo, what is happening? What is happening? Long time no see. There used to be this big conversation around going wide, right? And that's the whole concept of, posting on every platform, being in as many places as possible. And like for the last couple of years, there was so much conversation around going wide. And I honestly think that was a massive misstep. It's a big reason why so many people, still to this day, scream about burnout, so forth, so on, et cetera. I think the real money shot is in going deep. Like building
Very
a
true.
more personal touch, more community oriented, being more real, and not real from even the fake authenticity, right? But I mean, being more real just in putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Just because every time you make a really clean and polished video, you may not know this, but you're probably scaring away a bunch of people who want to create similar to you, but you just scared them because you came out with the Martin Scorsese piece. Right? So many people out here trying to create that cinematic content. I'm like, but this ain't the cinema, dog. It's a phone. Like people watching you over here or they're watching you on the TV. Make content first, step the quality up next. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich is good regardless of the peanut butter or the jelly. But when you got good, fresh bread, especially like from a bakery, and you got Jif Super Chunk and Smuckers, gotta be Smuckers. Everything else, Welch's, kiss my ass. I'm talking Smuckers. It gotta be real deal Smuckers, real deal Jif or Skippy Super Chunk, and fresh bread. I mean, so fresh that if you smash it with your finger, it pop right back up. That's a bomb-ass peanut butter sandwich. But like, if you only got a couple days old and you got the Safeway brand and the Target brand, it's still good. It's just not as good. Remember, moms used to always try to get the Kroger's joint, and I'm like, moms, what is this Kroger's brand jelly? Boy, it's all the same. And I'm like, bull, right? All right, cool. I'm going to bring in a book about Satan and tell you it's the same as reading the Bible. And then she slapped the shit out of me, of course. But no, moms, you get Smuckers, period. Don't buy nothing else. I'll pay the difference. Because, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, dude, my grandma's, see, this, how come nobody know how to do this no more? Yo, real deal Holyfield grandma homemade jam? Oh, just telling the truth, bruh. Like, it's so good. Especially when you first come out and it's a little warm still yet. And you, I used to like that one with butter on one side and jam in the next. But back then, we made our own butter. We had the fat jar. We put the cream in it. You just shake it up till you go crazy. You make your own butter. We didn't have the old school churn. Paul, you ever churn?
My grandma did.
No,
Wait, no, Duncan is older than you, so he probably did churn.
I didn't, but I've
don't
seen
even
it
know
done.
what it is.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
so
good heavens.
you could actually do it. Everybody can still do this if you want. It's a cool thing to show off to your kids or your grandkids. You take a heavy cream, and then we will put it in a bell jar. You know, with the little cap, the little lid that comes on, and you put the cap on, and you put a couple little bit of salt, and you would just shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, and you just got to keep shaking it until it start to get thick, and you'll eventually build like a little clump. Well, that's making butter because you're agitating it to the point where the solids they get stuck together. What a churn was in the day was like a wooden barrel with a piston, and then you would just sit there and up and that sounds weird on the video. You would basically either hand crank the piston or you'd move the piston up and down, and it would basically make the butter solid. You'd pour out the buttermilk, and then you'd get the whey, and you just end up with a solid chunk of butter, and it's so good. It's so good, man.
Back to your
Homemade
strawberry jam.
strawberry is the bomb. And I got to go because we got class in a minute. But if you're ever in Portland, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I won't be able to make it because I'm still about 15, 20 miles from home.
I
But
can
I've
see
just
you
completed
driving.
18,500 mile round trip.
Jesus Christ, bro. There's a company, people in Portland, that's called Rose City Pepper Jelly. Look them up on the internet, and they have your preserves, your jellies, and your jams that are mixed with various spices. And their habanero pepper jelly is one of the greatest things ever made. They also have one called like the cherry bomb, and it's mixed with like cherry and jalapenos on the sticks. Rose City Pepperheads, that's the name of it. Sorry, I mislabeled it. This company right here makes some of the bombest, I mean the absolute bombest jelly in the world. And it's so good. These two ladies, they put it down. This lip smacking Loganberry is good. The Marionberry is good. This the one right here. Blackberry Habanero. This right here, family. Yo, it's only a 2, Paul. It ain't that hot.
Says
Paul,
you.
Paul over here is shaking his head. Paul think ketchup is hot, y'all. Here, you could probably handle this one, Paul. It's a 1. It's Berrylicious Habanero. It ain't that bad. But their cherry one, well, it might be cherries out of season at this point. It might have already be sold out. The cherry one is really good. The blackberry habanero is really good. And then if you really want to get gangster, try the scorpion sting. that joint hurts. That joint hurts real. It hurts so good, but it definitely hurts. But if family, this stuff is delicious. I mean, it is off the chain. And they do have the
He's
plain.
staying in your room.
They have the plain Marionberry ones, which is good. Oh, but I guess it's seasonal. Their cherry one is so delicious. It's like cherry and jalapeno. It's not too hot, but it tastes freaking good. Mango Madness is delicious. Marionberry Blast, that's the one. Also good. I got cranberry. Man, where is... Oh, there it is. Cherry Bomb. That's the one. This guy right here. Ugh, so delicious. So delicious. Yo, we making candy? Oh. Dang, she know how to make candy? I know how to make crack. I'm joking. I'm joking, internet. I'm joking. Dina, I'm excited to see you. Thank you guys for hanging out today. Class, I'll see you in a couple minutes. I'm going to go drink a coffee and come right back. And Paul, please drive safe. Don't stop doing weird stuff. Don't get a ticket. You're like the backcountry road. Like there's no street lights.
No,
I don't
I'm literally in the middle of. I'm about 15 miles from my house.
Oh, there you go.
I don't think he's really driving. I think he's on a soundstage.
Yeah, with the fake lights just going by, just using like a little Amran on blink mode. That's super funny. All right, gang, we'll see you guys next week. Oh yeah, next Saturday. Everybody who hung out today, next Saturday I'm doing a birthday stream We'll open up the Zoom room. Everybody can come and hang out. And I'm going to be old. So next Saturday, I'm going to do the birthday stream. It's technically on Friday, but you know what? When you're old, you don't give a damn. It's just another day. So
He
next
turned
Saturday will be
75.
birthday extravaganza. I'm not turning 75, Paul, you jerk. Thank you, guys. I love you. Go make some goddamn content.
You're mine. How I love the city of mine. It never gets me down.